Yesterday we completed 5 configurations till here. First, we have created the cost ordination, and after that cost book. And after that, in the relationship, we linked our cost out to the cost book. And also you see here, we have assigned a reference data set for our costing setups, and then cost book and inventory ordinations, and also period end validations. Okay, during the period close, what need to be validated, what need to be ignored, that we can choose from here. Valuation structure. I have created 2 valuation structures. One is for the inventory transactions and another one is for the expense transactions. I have not created valuation structure for the consignment because we don't have a consignment process. That's why we have not created the consignment valuation structure. After that, we created the cost elements also. So different types of costs that involved. So all those costs you can create. And while creating those cost elements, you have to again group under either resource cost or material overhead cost or overhead cost or material cost, any cost element that need to be grouped into those 5 categories. And after that, overhead expense pools. So the remaining 6 configurations, we will target to complete by today, remaining 6 configurations. Overhead expense pools. As I mentioned, for costing, a license is not required. No need to take the license for costing. If you have a license for procurement, that is enough. Procurement license is enough. From the manufacturing and supply chain material management offering, under this offering, inventory is there, costing is there, manufacturing is there. Okay, under this offering. We did the inventory setup from here. Now we are doing the costing setup from here. Go to cost accounting. And here cost ordination, cost book, and then relationship, valuation structure, and cost elements. This is what created so far. Next, overhead expense pools. This configuration has to be created for the overhead elements, cost elements, overhead expense pools. Switch to all tasks, then you click on the overhead expense pools. So this expense pool significance you'll understand while defining the cost. I'm just creating now. And type I'm selecting asset, and then reference data set, I'm selecting my own reference data set. So when you are loading the cost of the item, then you have to provide the expense pool again is the overhead cost element. Okay. Again is the overhead cost element. This expense pool has to be provided. So you'll get full clarity when I'm loading the item cost. Now the next configuration is cost component mapping. Cost component mapping. Next configuration. Here it is. Satvik, please concentrate on the class.
Yes, sir. I'll mute.
Cost component group. So this is for your understanding, I'm naming like this. Mapping of the cost components. reference data set, and description. And in the bottom, so again is this in the bottom. Let me save it. Here in the first tab, we defined all our cost elements, right? So we predefined our cost elements. And in which reference data set we created the cost elements. Yesterday, we created a couple of cost elements, right? That we created under this reference data set. Okay. And you select one of the cost element that's been created. Okay. Sorry. Should be comma. Enterprise. So here we map our cost elements with the standard or predefined cost elements. Able to fetch them. Okay, I'm switching wrongly. I just saved it right. Not saved. Thank you. Cost elements mapping. Select the common or find okay, it's not showing. What reference data set? Common set. From the common set, these are the predefined cost. Now it populated. Cost component mapping group. Cost component mapping group. Okay. Now we created this cost element, right? We created this cost element under our reference data set. Okay. And this cost element, we are mapping with the predefined cost elements. When you say material cost, this is the item price, right? When you say material cost, this is the item price or not? So here item price is the predefined cost element which got created in the application under which reference data set? Common reference data set. That means our cost elements we are mapping with the predefined cost elements. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
So predefined cost elements are created under common reference data set. They are seeded. Now this is for the item price. Okay. In case of freight, what element you created? That element you can map to the freight. Suppose I'm selecting the freight, and in case of freight, which element you created? Okay. So you might have created something called transportation charge. We have not created. We have created just 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. In case if you have created a cost element called transport, that you have to map with the predefined cost element called freight. Understood? So here I'm mapping the overhead to the freight. Clear, team?
Yes, Krishna.
Now here, you have to map with the item price and the freight. And there is one more element called non-recoverable tax. Okay, that also you need to map non-recoverable tax. So select the reference data set here. And the predefined cost element called non-recoverable tax. And again is this cost element. You can map our material cost. You can map our material cost. Okay. So application is expecting these 3 predefined components should be mapped with one of our cost elements that we created. Okay, these 3 are mandatory. So there are a couple of other cost elements also there. I never used them in the projects. And I'll show you what are the other cost elements the predefined available. IPV is there, invoice price variance is there. Okay. And what else? Exchange rate variance. If you want to capture this exchange rate variance in a separate cost element, I think you can create and map it here. But I never used this. And item price we just used. IPV, I just explained to you. I mean, SD class and freight also we just mapped. And non-recoverable tax is there. Transfer price and transfer credit. Okay. So normally the transfer price is charged. The transfer cost is charged when you are transferring between your entities. You're transferring from one of your inventory ordination to another inventory ordination. In that cases, you can collect the transfer price charges. Suppose if you wanted to capture the transfer price as a separate cost element, you want to capture the transfer price as a separate cost element, then you select the transfer price here. And you can map this transfer price with the cost element that you have created called transfer price, or else you can map to the material cost itself. If you map to the material cost, what will happen? This transfer price also added into the material cost. Or else if you created a separate cost element, that cost element get mapped with this transfer price. Okay. I'm going with the three predefined cost elements. And if you map here, that is enough. That's what I mentioned here. Item price, freight, non-recoverable tax. So especially this non-recoverable tax component is required in case of dropship and back-to-back cycles. And the real impact, I think this is related to the tax rate. The real impact we can see on the tax module. I never seen this real impact, but this need to be created in the application. Okay, go ahead with your questions now.
So where we can, I mean, which cost component we will take for the material overheads?
Material overhead is nothing but freight, right? You can use for that.
Okay, if I create separate cost element material
Yes.
overhead, I can use it
Yes.
as a freight.
Right.
Okay.
Sir,
Huh?
sir, are there any mandatory what do you call this? Predefined elements we need to map?
That's what I covered 2 times, Satvik.
Sir, I
This-
joined late, sir.
I just covered, Satvik. Just 2 minutes back, 2 times I covered. These 3 are the predefined mandatory elements
Okay.
that need to be mapped with our cost elements that I have given in this Excel file also.
Okay, sir.
I've given in Excel file also. There are a lot available there. In the drop down, almost 10 to 15 available.
Yes,
But we are mapping how many? Just 3. That 3 also I mentioned in this document.
right. Thank you.
Right, team? I
Right.
explained
Yes.
multiple times, right?
Yes.
These 3 are mandatory.
sir.
Okay. Remaining is up to your wish based on the client requirement. Suppose an example, if the client wants to capture IPV into separate cost element, you select IPV and map that IPV with the separate cost element you created. Similarly, the transfer credit also. Transfer credit also is a predefined cost element. In case transfer price, if you want to consider separately, you create a separate cost element and map with the transfer price, or else you can map with the material cost also. So under material cost, transfer price also get added. Clear this configuration?
Clear.
I selected my reference data set and all the cost elements that I created under my reference data set, but predefined cost elements are created under common.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I named this as cost component mapping group. Timme Gowda, mute yourself, sir. Next, an important configuration team, cost profile. As of now, we defined 7 configurations. In any of the configuration, did we mention or did we talk about the cost method? No. I discussed about two cost methods, right? Standard and average. Did I mention that standard average in any setup? No,
No.
but we are going to configure that now. Okay, cost profile. So we created, we are going to do how many types of transactions in the application? We are doing 3 types of transactions: inventory, expense, but not the consignment. So that's why I'm also creating the cost profile for these 2 types of transactions, inventory and expense. Cost profile. Where is it?
It's up.
Mean is cost profile. Okay. I'm going to create 2. This is reference data set. I'm choosing the reference data set and 50K asset cost profile, nothing but inventory cost profile. Okay. And the cost method. See, I am selecting the cost method. I am selecting the standard cost method. Okay. And this is average costing method. Perpetual average and periodic average. The average calculation, there is a difference with this, and there is a difference with this that we will discuss later. Okay. 2 average cost methods are there. One is perpetual and another one is periodic average costing. I am choosing the standard cost. I'm going to follow the standard cost for my inventory ordinations. I'm choosing that. And valuation structure. Did we create a valuation structure for inventory, right? This is a 4th setup
Yes.
that add it here. Valuation structure code. If I type also like this, it should default. Okay. Yeah, you see now I got it. But if I directly search, it's not displaying anything. Nothing is showing up. Okay. So sometimes please be careful this kind of weird behavior in the application.